Hello everyone from Chelsea Fan TV. Chelsea 1, Fulham 2. It's Boxing Day. I came here thinking I was going to get a KO. I got KO'd. We got KO'd. I can't remember the last time Fulham beat us at Stamford Bridge.
But I'll tell you what, 1979.
That long ago.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So, yeah. No, mate, it was poor today. As you say, the Boxing Day analogy, yeah, we got knocked out, mate. That was the worst performance of the season, mate. The worst 90 minutes of the season.
The worst?
Yeah, I think so, mate. I think so, because there was just a complete lack of urgency about, around the place. We get the goal with Palmer, great piece of individual skill, but again, for the second game running, mate, I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, there's a real lack of chance creation. Can you tell me another clear-cut, really good opportunity we created for ourselves today? Well, outside of the goal, I can't think of one.
Cucurella, I think.
Oh yeah, the Cucurella header, he should have scored that, right? But we're looking at two chances across 90 minutes. But that's not good enough. With the attacking quality that we've got, with the attacking players we have, with the amount of goals that we have scored this season, we've come up against an Everton side and a Fulham side, right? And we've struggled to create any real chances over the last two games. That is a problem. What is also a problem is that we desperately need another striker. We need a different profile. We need a box dominant. We need an aerially dominant striker. We need a physical profile to come on for when Jackson isn't at the races or when it's not quite working out for Jackson. Because I'm sorry, mate, Nkunku as the backup striker is not it. If Nkunku's going to be a backup striker in this team, sell him, get rid, because that is not his role. He's not good enough to do that for us.
Not good enough?
No, he's not good enough, mate. To play as a 9 for Chelsea, he's not good enough. He's not that guy, mate. I'm sick of seeing him play as a number 9. He offers absolutely nothing as a 9, mate, unless you're playing like Barrow or fucking Noah's Ark or whatever. Mate, he does not offer anything. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but playing as a number 9, that's not it. So for me,
why is that?
Because he's not a 9. Maresca said it himself, he's not a 9, but he can't play as a 10 because he's not going to play instead of Cole Palmer. Felix is the backup 10, and then he's not going to play wide.
You just don't think he offers enough? He brings goals to the team.
Mate, you watched him today. What did he, in the Premier League? Right? Forget Conference League and stuff, because we know anyone who's half decent footballer is bringing something there. You've got eyes. You watched the game today. He played about 20 minutes, right? Please tell me what he did. What did he bring? Anything different to try and change things? What did he do?
He had that chance right at the end. He did force a save, but other than that, you're right.
Yeah, he didn't do anything. So this is not me saying he's a bad player. This is me just saying that this guy, the way that we're playing right now, he doesn't fit in the team. That's the reality of the situation.
So you take Mark Hugh right now over Nkunku?
Yeah, as a number 9, yes, right. Absolutely. So, you look at the team, right, and Maresca always goes on about in press conferences, I trust the squad and stuff, right? But then his words don't match his actions. 2 games in a row now where we're struggling to create opportunities. We're looking to switch something up in attack. I'm not a big João Felix fan, by the way, but if you're playing against a team that's sitting deep, you need someone to try and unlock something, right? You talk about Felix as being a potential solution. Maresca said it himself, maybe a potential solution to playing together with Cole Palmer, trying to get a bit more out of Palmer when he's man-marked out of games, and then you leave him as an unused sub for the last 2 games when we're struggling to create opportunities. That doesn't make sense to me. Why? And then today as well, mate, again, you can see squad building. A lot of the recruitment's been good. We have got next to 0 depth in midfield at the moment because Lavia is constantly injured, right? And that is a problem that needs to be addressed, and we need to get on top of that as soon as possible. But Enzo and Caicedo cannot play at this intensity 90 minutes every single week for the rest of the season. That simply can't happen, and we cannot rely on Lavia to be fit. So we need a 6/8 profile in midfield. Now, Andre Santos, I'm sure, can be the answer to that, but that's not the answer right now this season. I don't think we're going to recall him in January. Ugachukwu, could you recall him in January? Maybe that's a potential possibility. And so there's a few cracks appearing, in my opinion, mate, that are showing why we're not title contenders, despite maybe what some people think. It's obvious we're not title contenders. And it's just a really disappointing afternoon, mate. But you can't see that wasn't coming, From the moment we come out for the second half, just look miles off it. You could just tell that Fulham were going to score. You could feel it was coming. It felt a little bit like the Brentford game, except we just played a lot worse.
I would have said if that was a draw, that would have been a fair result. Yeah. But having seen that they've ended up nicking it right at the end, I do feel a bit hard done by, if I'm honest, because I think that although they did create chances themselves, You can't be losing to Fulham at home. I mean, it's just not good enough.
No, it's not good enough. But mate, when you're sloppy, do you see how open we were, by the way, at the end for that goal? They just went through us.
You talking about the second goal?
Yeah, they just went through us, mate.
So do you blame the shape or the choice of pass from the keeper?
Well, I think
it's
a bit of both, mate. Obviously, a choice of pass in that situation is not good. Look, a point at home against Fulham is not a good result. But I tell you what, it's a lot better than no points. And I just feel in that situation, yes, you want to go and win the game, but sometimes you just got to play the percentages, play the long game, take the point, because losing obviously is a lot worse than drawing. We should have maybe reined ourselves in a little bit and just accepted, you know what, it wasn't our day today, let's get a point and we go again on Monday. But we've tried to go for it as if it was like a cup final or something, or as we needed the points to like win the league or something. So I just feel that yes, you want to win in front of your fans and stuff. Yes, you always want to try and win every game, but sometimes you've got to maybe just think about the bigger picture and actually manage the game better. And I just think we didn't manage the game that well. You know, we went for that. We tried to go for the win, left ourselves overexposed at the back. We're then jogging back, and it was just a shambles of a goal to concede at the end.
You can't sit here and say you would have been happy with a draw. I don't understand that.
You're
saying you'd be content with a draw.
No, but I wouldn't have been happy with a draw.
You would have wanted us to go for it.
Yeah, but sometimes you got to read the situation in the game. Like, you know, when it's that late in the game. Look, if it's 10-15 minutes to go, absolutely. But if you're in stoppage time, mate, and you're going, and you know you're still going for it, I just think that's not. You're not managing the game very well. Do you know what I mean? Like, this was not a must-win game in terms of the context of the season, right? If it was a must-win game and, you know, we had to win it and we considered at the end going for it, fair enough. But in the context of our season, this wasn't must-win. So I just think, like, yes, you want to go for it and yes, you always want to win the games. But when you're that late into a game, maybe you just need to think about managing the game a little bit better.
I mean, for me personally, I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on Neto and Sancho. I mean, how do you describe their performance? I mean, when we look at the second half, I mean, is that down to lack of intensity, or is that on the manager because he should have taken them off? I do think.
What options do we have on the bench, though? That's the problem. Like, you look at the options on the bench, right? In terms of wide players, no wide options on the bench today. Obviously, Mudryk, we know where he is.
I think we had Tyreek George, but that was about it.
Yeah, but are you telling me you're going to turn to an 18-year-old who's not played a single Premier League minute to try and get something out of a game?
Well, I suppose this is the argument, and Don was saying this before. He said, I'd rather have legs than players who are done, basically, who haven't got any more left to give.
Yeah, no, that is also a fair point. Like, if you see that, you know, players aren't delivering, you see that, you know, they're getting a bit tired or whatever, if you have got an option in that wide area, then having fresh legs is probably better than having someone that's tiring. But again, I can understand perhaps why he didn't go for George, but again, no wide options on the bench really, and we only had options like in a number 10 role or as a striking options, and that was kind of it. So
I mean, you could have even brought Felix on and played him on the left or as a winger or whatever.
Yeah,
I mean, anything to get a little bit of extra energy in there.
Yeah, you could have tried something different, and it just goes back to Maresca kind of saying he trusts the squad when he clearly doesn't. You know, he clearly doesn't trust Felix. You know, he talks about Felix's options and whatnot, but that's 2 games now where we've needed someone to maybe change the attack and he's not used him. So, you know, does he really trust these players that much? Or certainly, like a few of them, he clearly doesn't trust.
He certainly trusts Robert Sanchez.
Well, yeah, he obviously trusts Robert Sanchez, but I mean, I don't think Sanchez was that bad today. I've got to be honest, man. I don't think Sanchez was that bad. I mean, Tosin, I think, had a good game as well. Though defensively, we were a bit of a mess for both of those goals. But I mean, look, it's one of those games, mate, where in the grand scheme of the season, you know, we're going to have ups and downs. We're a young team, we're a new team, we're still, you know, getting to know one another, still establishing a style of play, still getting used to things. There's going to be ups and downs like this. And look, we've lost a game. We've lost 3 games in 17. I mean, if we'd said that at the start of the season, that's not that bad. But in the context of today, it was just really poor and really disappointing. And there was a lot of hallmarks going back to last season with that performance.
Do you think we need to see heavy rotation against Ipswich?
Mate, what options have they got to rotate?
I don't know. Like, I mean, I'm talking. Maybe this is a Conference League job here. I mean, we're talking about. I don't know.
But we kind of need to win now, mate. We're 2 games without a win in the league now. We can't really afford to go 3 games not winning.
No, but when I say okay, let me rephrase. I'm talking about Felix instead of Palmer.
Yeah, like we did against Southampton.
Yeah,
that sort of thing. Yeah, maybe it could be, but again, it depends what options are available. Is Madueke going to be back? You know, like what options are going to be back for us in that game? I'm not seeing that many options. Even if Lavia is available again, he's not going to go straight into start, is he? So you're going to have to play Enzo and Caicedo again. Dewsbury Hall is not really trusted. Chukwuemeka is just here for vibes, isn't he?
What about Caicedo?
He was on the bench today. I don't know, mate. Like, we've got to try something, but then we can't take the complete piss because we actually need to win this game on Monday night. So as good as the squad is, right, we have to start focusing on these guys that are consistently unavailable when we need them. That is a big problem. We need someone like Lavia. We need the wide players available. We need the squad as fit as possible. So we've got different options. Everyone goes on about our squad, right? Look at the injuries we've had now. It's not that many, but it massively decimates the bench. And you look to the bench and there's not that much on there.
That's the question, isn't it? What's your message to Chelsea fans based on what you've seen from Chelsea so far and where you think we can go?
Oh, look, this is obviously in isolation a poor result and a poor performance, but ultimately I think you can clearly see that the team's making progress. You can clearly see we're going in the right direction. It's a learning curve, and look, we just got to just keep the faith and keep doing what we're doing. We are going to get better. We are going to improve, and you can clearly see we're heading in the right direction. We need a few additions. I don't think many are going to come in January, but we do need a few additions. But look, the future's definitely bright, and we're definitely moving forwards, towards where we need to be. Champions League football. Let's try and get the Conference League wrapped up. So look, mate, this defeat today hasn't changed anything in my mind about this season. There's just a couple of things that are creeping in that we need to get on top on before they potentially become bigger issues.
Big up to you, Charlie. Thank you so much, mate. Pleasure.